Your mind is a powerful tool. What you constantly think about and believe are going to be what makes your decisions on anything and everything that you do. Life, it's unpredictable, but your actions, they're not really, right? So when it comes to making decisions, you generally default to the path you have already taken in the past. Your routines and habits are what you revert to, whether they were intentional or something that you may have just fallen into, right? So in this episode, we are going to talk about the 6 areas that can make or break a financial decision. These 6 mindset struggles are what guide your financial decision making, and I want to share with you what you can do to shift these mindsets so that you can go from stressed and overwhelmed to confident in your decision making, and how doing it with God will exponentially shift your mindset. So go get your drink, open your heart to God, and let's dive in. If you're ready to build wealth, ensure financial security, stop overspending, and finally create a budget you can stick to, you mama are in the right place. Hi, I'm Molly, a budget coach and financial strategist who went from living paycheck to paycheck to paying off debt, saving money, and going on vacation, all by budgeting. And I help mamas just like you budget and create God-centered systems and routines so that you too can have financial freedom. Now stop pinching those pennies and let's dive in. Before we get going, this is a great time to let you know, if you don't already, that there is a wonderful community of mamas just like you getting more support in their budgets in the Budgeting with Confidence community. So this is a great community where you can get more support, not only from me, but from other mamas who have already or maybe are going through the same struggles as you. Budgeting, it's not easy, especially if you're doing it on one income or feel like money is all over the place. But the great thing is that you don't have to do it alone. Come join the free community over on Facebook and let's connect. Let's get to know each other so that I can help you and give you the support and little push that you may need to get moving on the path towards financial security when you build a recurring, stable budget. Now, don't worry if you're not on Facebook. You can still get the same support and connect with me by becoming an insider when you join my email list. I love this podcast. I love connecting with you through it. However, it's a one-sided thing, and I would love the opportunity to get to know you and help you personally instead of you just listening to my voice, right? I'd love to be able to have the opportunity to give you further support in the things that you want to do. So, hit pause right now and grab yourself some extra support and accountability by joining the Budgeting with Confidence community or email list. To join the community, go to bit.ly/BWC community. And to join the insiders list, go to bit.ly/BWC insiders list. If you didn't catch those, you can also find the links in the show notes as well. I want to start this episode out by reading a passage from the Bible. So if you are not doing something that you need your hands for, definitely feel free to pull out your own Bible. But I'm going to be reading from Philippians 4, verses 4 through 9. And it says, "Rejoice in the Lord always. I will say it again, rejoice. Let your gentleness be evident to all. The Lord is near. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Whatever you have learned or received or heard from me or seen in me, put into practice, and the God of peace will be with you." When you are constantly seeking God and you are thinking on things that are good and pure and holy, good easy decision making will flow because you are doing it in God's peace, with His strength, in joy, not stressed or worried. You're actually in the logical part of your brain instead of the emotional part of your brain, right? And this is how you're going to be able to make solid financial decisions. But when you're anxious and worried, you will make decisions that are rushed, that don't feel good, and in the end, you will have a negative result, right? Like that's going to end up being what happens because you have been so fixated on the negative thought. You've been overthinking so often, right? So an example of this, and this is something that I always revert to my husband because he always makes me think of stuff like this. But when it comes to buying a new vehicle, because there is fear that it's breaking down and you don't want to fix it. My husband, when we first started dating, the 2 years that we were dating, he went through buying about 7 different pickups because something was always wrong with it. Instead of taking the time and the money to fix it, because he could have, he would just ship it off and get a new one, right? And I feel like he's kind of brought that same mentality into our marriage because there have been a few things that he gets fearful that he's going to have to fix the engine, and the engine, can be a lot of money, or the transmission is a lot of money, having to replace those things. And so instead of replacing it, we just replace the whole vehicle, which in the long run is probably not financially very stable, right? It's not something that's actually a good choice. But that is why I want to share this with you, because when you are making decisions in an emotional state, the decision making is like lower. It's less of what is the word that I want here? It's less of a decision that is based on fact and more on feeling. And when you make a decision based on feeling, it's not something that is generally going to last, and it's something that might not even come out with a good result in the end, right? So that is why I want to share with you what you can do to shift your mindset so that you can stop being stressed and overwhelmed and start living confidently and making confident decisions. And, pairing it with God is like the most important way to do it, because that's how you're going to be able to do it quickly, and you're going to be able to do it in His strength instead of in your own strength, which makes it so much easier, because when you try to do it in your own strength, it just doesn't happen, especially when you're trying to work on shifting your mindset, right? Because you're in your own way, and God is going to convict you. He's going to lead you. He's going to guide you, and He has so many tools to do that for you. So let's dive in to the 6 points, the 6 things that are keeping you from reaching your goals. So the first one that I want to talk about is contentment. Now, contentment is something that is difficult because, we can feel like we have to buy things just to buy them, and it's not something we really like. And so that's why, and I know I talked about this on a previous episode, but that's why we need to shift our mindset from what we don't have to what we do have, and the great things that we can do with the things that we do have, right? The things that you bought are still making a difference in your life. They're still doing the job that they're supposed to do. They may not be the prettiest thing. They may not be the exact thing. They may not even match your style, but guess what? They're still giving you something that you need, right? Something I think about in this situation for me are my couches. I don't like my couches. I'm not a big fan of them, but they were given to me and I was blessed to get them. And I am content with them. Now, right now, I can't sit on them because my hips do not like them with this pregnancy. So that has been fun, trying to figure out how to sit. However, in the long run, they are still doing their job. They may not match my style very well. They may be the electrical style that I'm not a big fan of because, then you have to just fight the kids on putting the seats up, and it's just a big whole ordeal, and I would have rather just had a normal plain couch. But guess what? I have a couch. I could have not had a couch at all. I am blessed by these couches. They look nice. They are good, solid couches that are doing their job, and they are blessing my life. I'm able to sit on them and cuddle my children and be joyful with the life that I have. Now, they may not be very pretty, but guess what? I can change that by putting a couch cover on it. I think you can do that. A normal couch you can. I've done that for a very long time, but I'm not sure about with the fact that these are reclining couches if I can. I'll have to figure that out and let you know. But you get my point. Like, things can be changed and trends are going to change. The way that things look now are not going to look the same in the future, and the things that I like now are not going to be the same in the future, but they're still doing their job and they bring me joy, right? So contentment is something that needs to be switched from, oh, I don't like this, to, well, I'm still grateful of the job and the thing that it's doing for me. So maybe take a piece of paper, take a journal, take a note in your phone, write down the things that you've bought with your money, that you are buying with your money. And every time you start to feel discontentment, look at the things that you bought with your money and think on all the things that those things are doing for you, right? Just like that couch. Think about what it is that they are actually doing for you. Okay, so how do we do this with God, right? Hebrews 13:5 tells us to keep your lives free from the love of money and be content with what you have, because God has said, never will I leave you, never will I forsake you. So life isn't about things. Life isn't about what money can buy, but rather about what you do with the life that you have. It's the actions. And you can go and buy things that don't bring you very visual joy, right? They're not very pretty, but they're functional and they are doing what they need. You may not even have bought them like I didn't these couches. They were given to me and I was blessed to be given them, and I'm so grateful for them because that is how God provided for me. It took me a long time to be able to realize that hand-me-downs were a blessing and a way for God to provide for me. They were a blessing from God. And now I can see that, and my mindset has been shifted to gratitude. So when you are discontent, figure out a way to shift your mindset into a place of gratitude and being joyful of the things that God has provided for you, whether it's with your own finances or whether it's with somebody giving it to you. Because sometimes maybe you can't afford the super expensive thing, but you can afford the one that's a little bit lower and it's not as pretty and it can't do as many things, but it still is functional and does the things that it needs to do for your life. That is how God has provided for you, right? So be grateful and joyful of the things that God has given you, and you're going to be able to be content with the life that you have instead of living in discontentment. Okay, number 2, everything, and I want you to remember this, everything is a gift from God. This is a mindset that I want you to embrace, because this is a mindset that keeps you from living in greed, right? And it keeps you from thinking that you are, It keeps you from thinking that you deserve the thing, that you need the thing, that you are in a place where somebody should just give you the thing because you deserve it. There's a word for this, but I'm drawing a blank on what it is. So definitely email me and remind me the word that I'm trying to think of. But this mindset shift is something that you need to think on instead, that you don't deserve it, yet you are given these things. Like, you are given the things by God, everything God has made in this world, and it's a gift from God when you're able to get it. And like making that mindset shift of, I deserve it, I put this money in, I did the time, I did this. Well, money is a gift from God. The things that you're wanting to buy are a gift from God. And when you stop thinking about the fact that you should get this thing because you deserve to have it, you're going to be able to live a more joyful life. So how do we do this with God, right? Psalms 24, verse 1, the earth is the Lord's and everything in it, the world and all who live in it. So when you start thinking and remembering that everything that you have in the house that you live in is a gift from God because it's all His, you're going to be more grateful of the things that you have because you know that they're a gift. And I feel like Christmas is kind of, well, even birthdays have kind of put a bad taste per se in your mouth of gifts because people just give gifts to give gifts instead of for an actual reason, right? You don't want to be that weird person who doesn't give somebody a gift because they don't actually need anything. But when you get a gift given to you that you actually need, that you're able to go out and you're able to buy the school supplies for your kids, you're able to get on the computer to do your work if that's what you do for work, you're able to sit down and watch some TV. That is all a gift. It's not privilege. That's the word I'm looking for. It's not privilege. And when we think that we are privileged to the things that we are able to buy, that is when everything goes down the drain because everything is a gift from God. Okay, so this kind of leads me into the third thing, which is greed, right? Greed is a mindset where it's all about me. I want more. I want this. I want that. And it can be so easy to jump into that mindset. I can tell you that I used to be the person who would go out and do anything and everything for everybody at the expense of myself, right? And I finally realized that this was not good for me. But then instead of, just shifting a little bit away from that, I did a complete 360 or 180, a complete 180 and did the opposite, right? So then I became greedy and didn't want to help people, didn't want to give them my things to let them borrow, didn't want to help them out financially, because of the situation that I was in previously. And it took me some time to realize that it's not about me, right? It's about honoring God. It's about doing things that are going to bring Him glory. And that includes using your finances, not keeping it all hoarded in your savings account, but rather using that money to glorify the kingdom, to further God's kingdom and actually make a difference in the world. And then He will return the favor tenfold. Now, that doesn't mean that it's going to be in money, but there's going to be something that you will get in return for being obedient, right? So God says in Luke 12, verse 15, then He said to them, "Watch out. Be on your guard against all kinds of greed. Life does not consist in an abundance of possessions," right? Life is not made or broken by the things that you buy, by the possessions. The possessions are not going to bring you true joy. They will bring you a little bit of joy here and there, but if you lose that thing, it might be inconvenient because it might mean that you have to do a little more physical work to do whatever that thing is. But you're still going to have a life that you can enjoy. You're still going to have the people in your life that are actually what brings you joy, because joy comes from relationships, not things. And so greed is going to take that away. You're going to not be focused on relationships and the things that truly matter that bring you joy. You're going to be so focused on, I need to buy the next thing, because you need the next hit of dopamine to make you happy, and you need to buy another thing to get another hit of dopamine to make you happy for a short period of time. It's not long-term joy that comes from relationships. So focus on relationships instead of yourself, and you're going to be able to combat greed, right? Okay, number 4, fear. Do not fear. This is something that is so hard to do, right? Because it is ingrained in us. It is part of our natural being to fear and worry and have anxiety because of the things going on. I do believe that we are now in a world where fear and anxiety are like really high, right? Because we're constantly overthinking about things that could happen instead of just living in the present moment and letting God worry about the future and handling what is going on right now instead of what could happen, right? Being prepared is great. Don't get me wrong. I talk about being prepared all the time by setting up a budget that allows you to be prepared for things in the future, because it is biblical to be prepared and to save some of your money for the future. But worrying about what that money is going to be spent on in the future is not something that we need to worry about, right? We just need to say, okay, we're going to set this much aside. Once we reach it, we're able to handle whatever life throws at us, right? And we can feel safe and calm and secure in that, knowing you are prepared for whatever life may bring you. But that doesn't mean you need to sit there and constantly be worrying about what is going to happen in the future, right? So instead of being fearful and scared and worried all the time, sit in the truth. So take some time, look at what you're worried about. What are you fearful about? And take it to the Word, take it to God. Find truth, find a verse that is going to counteract that fear and give you hope and joy and like calm and peace that you are looking for, so that you can live in the moment instead of overthinking and worrying about the future. So in Isaiah 41:10, God says, "Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." That verse gives me so much peace and calm, because I know that whatever life is going to throw at me, God is going to be there with me, holding my hand, guiding me, taking me down the path that I need to be going on, and supporting me through it instead of me trying to do it myself, right? So take it to God. Take your fear to God. Find a biblical truth to counteract it and give yourself peace. Number 5, so something that we want to have is hope. But I feel like in this day in life, we are not very hopeful because of the fear, because of the anxiety. Our hope has just plummeted, and like all of the things that have happened in our lives, we just expect things not to happen as we want them to, right? And so what you need to do is to shift your expectations, right? To be able to have hope, you need to stop expecting the worst. In order to have hope, you need to let God be your hope, because He is going to be the one that brings you the things that you are looking for, right? Because everything is a gift from God. You can be content knowing that He is going to be there. You can be confident knowing that He is going to be there, and hope for the things that you actually want, right? So instead of expecting the bad to happen, expect the good to happen. Expectation is essentially hope. So what does God say about hope? God says in Romans 15:13, "May the God of hope," because God is hope, right? "Fill you with all joy and peace as you trust in Him." Hope is God, and you get that hope by trusting in Him, so that you may overflow with hope by the power of the Holy Spirit. Again, hope comes from God, and you get that hope by trusting in Him. that is where hope comes from. That is where you are able to expect things to happen because your hope is in God. It's not in the world. It's not in your actions because the world is not perfect. You are not perfect, but God is perfect, and He is going to bring you the things that you need, the things that bring you joy, the things that are going to lift you up and excite you. But He's also going to give you some things that are hard, right? And He's going to be the source of your hope when you trust in Him, that you are going to be able to get through that situation. You are going to be able to achieve the things that you are striving for and working towards because you are doing it with Him instead of in your own strength and by the world's way, right? Okay, so the sixth thing that I want to talk about that is a mindset shift that you need to embrace is confidence. So confidence is not easy to get, right? When we are doing things, especially budgeting, and you just can't ever stick to the budget, and you just feel like you're failing, and you're failing, and you're failing, and you're failing, and you just feel like you're getting slapped in the face because you're trying so hard and it's just not working. That is when confidence goes down the drain and you start just making decisions and throwing things out the window that don't actually work, and things get worse instead of better, right? Because we just kind of get into this poor me mentality, and instead of trusting in the right thing, and the right thing is who? It's God. By trusting in the right thing, that's how you're going to prevent it and counteract the feelings of this poor me mentality. Like, I can't do this. It's not going to happen. Why should I even try? I know that feeling. I've been there currently. I don't know if it's been about the budget, but it is a mindset that I still struggle with, and it's going to be something that I struggle with probably for the rest of my life because I am not perfect. But knowing where to go and who to go to is what gets me through it, right? Trusting in the right thing, which is God. God says in Hebrews 11 verse 1, now faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see. So how you are confident is you have faith in God. You trust that God is going to give you the things that you hope for. He is the assurance about what we cannot see, right? He knows what we're going to get, and our confidence and our trust and our faith in Him is what gives us confidence to know that we will be able to be positive and assured that we will get the things that we are working towards. Now, again, that doesn't exactly mean that you're going to get the vehicle that you absolutely want, but it is an assurance that you are going to get the thing that you need. You are going to get a vehicle that's going to get you from point A to point B. It may not be pretty. It may not be the exact style that you want, but that is where we have to go back to contentment and be grateful and joyful of the things that those things that money has bought you or people have given you are doing their job and giving you a joyful life because they are in your life, right? So that is where this all just kind of is one big circle. These are mindsets that we need to embrace so that we can have a joyful life that is not focused on money, but rather focused on relationships, and allow our money to bring us things that are going to do a job that makes things a little bit easier for us, but actually gets us to where we want to be, right? I hope this episode has made sense and that I'm not just going in circles and above your head, but I just pray that each one of these is something that you're able to embrace, right? It's something that you can enjoy and you can start working towards. Now, like I always say, do not do all of these at once. You will stress yourself out. You will overwhelm yourself. Pick one area, the one area that feels the heaviest, and take it to God and work on it, right? Think about what you can do to shift your mindset and to partner with God in that mindset so that you're doing it in His strength. The biggest thing out of all of these that I hope you got from it, your biggest takeaway, is that trust and faith in God is going to make everything so much better. It's going to make it so much easier because He is going to be your strength. He is your hope. He is your confidence. He is the thing that's going to keep you from being greedy and from living in fear, and reminding you that everything that He has given you is a gift, and that everything in the world is a gift from God, which is going to bring you contentment, right? Everything that I talked about today just really blends together and flows together. Okay. Now, I'd love to hear your takeaways. If you would come over and join the free Facebook group, it is called Budgeting with Confidence. I about said what it was called in the past, like when it first started. But it's called Budgeting with Confidence. You can find the link in the show notes, or you can go to bit.ly/BWC community and join the community and bring your takeaways that you got from this episode. I'd love to hear what you learned, what you maybe got from God as you were listening to this. If you aren't on Facebook, you can also join my insiders list by going to bit.ly/BWC insiders list, and you can start emailing me through that as well, or just email me at mollybenell@gmail.com. Whatever way or form you are most comfortable with, I'd love to connect with you and hear your takeaways and hear your thoughts so that we can, get to know each other, because podcasting, it's a one-sided thing. You get to know me, you get to know my stories, but I'd love to get to know you and your stories and guide you through budgeting and being able to stick to your budget, right? And with that being said, I do want to say that when this episode airs, I will probably have a new baby in my arms, so give me grace if I don't respond right away, right? So, but with that being said, you will still get another episode next week, so definitely tune in next week, and I pray that you have a great rest of your week. Hey Mama, I pray that today's episode has inspired you and grew you. If so, will you please share it with that friend who is praying for a budget breakthrough, and leave a rating and review so that you can help get the podcast out to other mamas struggling with their budget. Also, get some support for yourself by joining my free Facebook group and becoming an insider, where you get weekly support emails and are the first to find out when something new is on its way. You can find the links in the show notes, and I will see you right back here next Tuesday.